My name is Jakkai Siributr. I'm an artist from Thailand, and I'm here in Brisbane for the APT9. Well, I've always worked with textiles as a medium, embroidery and fabric and assemblage as part of my practice. This particular piece at the APT, it's one of my most personal projects to date because it deals with a personal history, which at the same time also links to a national historical narrative as well. It's a tribute to my mother, who passed away 3 years ago. There are 5 of her dresses embroidered with images from family photos, as well as some news footage that recorded these historical events that happened over the past almost 50 years. Part of this work are 7 large-scale tapestries, or you can call them quilts. They are made from disassembled garments that belong to my 7 aunties. The father was a royal page to King Rama VIII. When King Rama VIII was found dead with gunshot wounds, him and 2 other men who were working at the palace at the time were made scapegoats and were later executed. Suddenly you have a young man who had a promising career, and when something happened, his life was cut short, and then his family members and everybody else also suffered. So in a way, this body of work is a tribute to not only my mother but also to his family and to him as well. His widow and 7 daughters were sort of left behind. Basically, they were ostracized. You know, they would go to school and then they would be made fun of. They would be called names. People would say, "Oh, you're the king murderer's son," and all that. In Thailand, they have this tendency to want to erase certain facts, certain events that occurred. For this particular work, I'm not quite sure whether I would be able to show the work in Thailand, because it's still the subject, the issues is still quite sensitive. Regardless, this is about my personal history, but at the same time, I mean, it can be linked into these political aspects of it. And if people want to raise certain issues. A year after my mother died, I went through all her things, her clothes, her diaries, and I realized, so this is my way of dealing with it through the process of embroidery. Kind of brought back all the memories that maybe I had already forgotten. And through the process of embroidery, I mean, it's very meditative. It was a therapeutic way to deal with the loss as well. Together with the dresses and the tapestries, there is also an audio that are excerpts from my mother's diaries, selected from the dates during those turbulent times in Thailand history, such as the massacre of the students at Thammasat, in which my mother was at the time was quite engaged, and she would go to all the street protests, or she would take in students that have been injured. All those historical facts have been recorded in my mother's diaries. The work is a tribute to the people whose lives have been violently disrupted by a political event, historical event that happened.